Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be doing my trailer breakdown for episode 2 of the final season. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so The Flash has finally returned. We saw the premiere last night. My review is up on my channel. I break down everything that happens in the entire episode. So much went on, especially towards the end. There was 2 cliffhangers, and one of those cliffhangers actually leads into this trailer. So obviously, go watch the video and go watch the episode, or rewatch the episode if you want to relive what went on last night. But as you guys know, The Flash is going to be airing every Wednesday. We're going to be covering it week to week. I'm going to have lots of bonus videos throughout the week as we head towards next Wednesday when we have episode 2. Obviously, we're breaking down that trailer for now, but there will be more in the coming days. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and break down this trailer. So the episode goes like this. New kid in town. Barry feels guilty for what happened to Caitlin, and Mark comes up with a plan which makes everyone skeptical. Meanwhile, Red Death looms in Central City and commands that failure is not an option. Joe asks Cecile to make a choice which leads Cecile to think about the greater good, Allegra and Jess to take a step in a new direction. So that is the synopsis that they've released. Obviously, we're going to be seeing a lot of this in the trailer. It's mainly to do with Caitlin and Mark and Barry and what's going on, because obviously we got that reveal at the end of last episode that showed us a new version of Caitlin. We'll be theorizing a bit about what's going on there. Plus also, we got the reveal that Joe wants to move away from Central City, and in the synopsis it says this decision and choice that she has to make leads her to think about the greater good. And so I have a feeling maybe Joe goes away and Cecile's gonna stay, which is obviously a strange decision, but if she's thinking about the greater good, she's thinking, oh, I can use my powers for the greater good, so I should stick around here. So we'll have to wait and see. Plus also, Chegra are going to be getting her on once again. Okay, so the first shot in the trailer is of Mark, and he's in the bar. Obviously, this is the bar where him and Frost met for the first time, because that's just like a frequent place where they would both go to. And so he is here. You can see him briefly in the bottom right corner, and you know, he's got his hand on his head. He's very much so down because of what's been happening. We also have a new meta in this episode, presumably a part of the new Rogues that is being formed by Red Death. And it seems this meta, and I have no idea who this meta is, by the way, so let me know if you have any insights as to who you think it is. But they are going after Hartley Rathaway, who is returning in this episode and may also feature in a couple more episodes as we kind of go into this rogue storyline that Eric Wallace has been teasing. Okay, so back to the bar. Mark isn't alone. This time he is here with Barry, and Barry is telling him that you love Frost with all of your heart, and sometimes when we love someone like that, we do wrong things. And so Barry is very skeptical about what decision that Mark makes in this episode. I presume it has something to do with Caitlin / Frost, whoever the new version of them is, which Team Flash and Barry are very skeptical about what's going on. Anyway, let's move on to the next shot. The next shot is outside this sort of club, and we have Hartley Rathaway on the ground being attacked by this new villain of the week. I don't know if they're a meta, or are they just using tech similar to what Captain Boomerang was using in the previous episode. Obviously, it didn't make much sense why Captain Boomerang had so much tech, but it was revealed at the end of the episode that it was in fact Red Death who was supplying the tech. And that makes you wonder, how do they have access to such good technology, including teleportation? It seems they are way advanced. So is there any possibility that Red Death could be from the future? Yes, that's definitely a possibility. Also, the multiverse could come into this, so potentially wherever they're from, they are loaded with tech. And so yeah, this villain of the week is attacking Hartley Rathaway, and we get our first good look at her. I'm not entirely sure who she is, but she is playing some sort of instrument, and obviously this is not a musical instrument. This is most definitely a weapon. We've seen something similar to this in the past, so I wonder if it's another revamped character who is returning to the show. But yeah, look pretty cool, got kind of Matrix glasses on. And let's move on from here, because Hartley Rathaway comes to Star Labs and he is hurt. He's there actually in the trailer seeking Caitlin because he needs a doctor because he's been attacked by this meta. And so he's obviously returning. He's going to be on the good side once again, as obviously Team Flash try and help him out. But this leads into the Caitlin side of this trailer, because he's going to realize pretty quickly that Caitlin isn't Caitlin, just like the rest of Team Flash are also realizing. So we have this cool shot of Barry inside maybe the same nightclub or a different one, and you have this blue light. It looks actually very cool, just a nice shot. I wanted to feature it in the video. But now let's jump over to Caitlin slash Frost. Like, that's kind of what I'm calling her right now, because I actually don't know what to call her. But we saw her at the end of last episode. She was one of the big cliffhangers, and this is obviously a result of what Caitlin and Mark were doing in terms of trying to bring Frost back, and it seems it's worked. But it seems they've potentially fried both Caitlin and Frost, and they've made this one new person. Obviously you can tell that they are a mix because of the hair. You've got the blue streaks. That's not just something that they skimmed over. Like, that is actually very important, because that signifies there is a crossover between the two of them. And so yeah, she's on this bed, I presume in her apartment, and probably getting used to life, I guess, because we have no idea what's going on. But at the end of last episode, Barry seemed to think this was a completely new Caitlin, so I think his mind was going multiverse straight away. However, I'm pretty sure this is just a result of the experiment. He didn't know that Mark and Caitlin went further even after Barry destroyed Caitlin's machine, as she tried to obviously bring back Frost. So Barry is very much so in the dark, but Team Flash are going to be enlightened in this episode. So we have another very cool shot from the outside of a window. It's raining and Frost is just like touching the window. I don't know what this signifies, but potentially she's going to be using her powers on the water. We could see if this version of Caitlin slash Frost is actually able to use the powers. You would suppose she's going to be able to do that, but I think she's going to be similar to what we've seen in the past with Caitlin when Frost was inside Caitlin. But then let's hop over to Star Labs, because we got Team Flash, that being Allegra specifically, questioning the new Caitlin slash Frost by saying, if you're not Caitlin or Frost, who are you? And that is the big question right now. What exactly has gone on inside that machine to actually make this new version of the character seem like they're neither Frost or Caitlin? And I guess for us, a big thing is, what are they going to be called? Like, how can we call them? Is it going to be Kate Frost? Is it going to be Frostlyn? I mean, there is tons of amalgamations that they could come up with, or they could name her something completely new. But it seems that actually they're going to be doing more experiments in this episode on this new version of Caitlin slash Frost, because that same pod that Caitlin was originally in at the end of last season has been transported to Star Labs. We've seen this in some previous trailers. We got Team Flash here, including Mark, and they are looking on at this pod, and you would presume that maybe Caitlin slash Frost is inside that pod. They're doing some sort of experiment on her. I can't really make out what's on Chester's screen, but they are definitely testing something out, potentially about, you know, her makeup structure, in terms of like, does she have powers? Does she have the same kind of DNA as Caitlin? And also, does she share more with Frost, or is it more like Caitlin? So that's something they're going to have to explore. And so next up in the trailer, we get a repeat of what we saw at the end of last season, the original incident when this version of Caitlin slash Frost basically broke out of the pod, and obviously this has led into what we saw at the end of last episode with the cliffhanger. I have no idea how she made it to Star Labs, but you can presume she has some of the memories of either Caitlin or Frost, so she knows that's a place that she remembers and she has to go to if she's gonna find any help. Now, we don't know if she's going to be good or bad. Right now it's all up in the air, but the scene at the end of last episode reminded me of the return of Deathstorm, so I'm very much so not sure if I trust her or not. But at the end of the trailer as well, Barry tells Mark to not go rogue anymore. Like, he can't do this, because this is obviously partially his fault, but also Caitlin went rogue as well, and so they made this decision together and they formed this new version of Caitlin slash Frost. And there may be consequences, which it definitely seems like they're teasing there's big consequences to what they've done, but at the end of the day, at least they are alive. And so yeah, that is my trailer breakdown for The Flash Season 9 Episode 2. Later this week, they're going to be releasing more looks and interviews into, the latest episode, but also the season as a whole. I have a lot of videos to catch up on. There was many interviews that were released in the last couple of days prior to the Flash's premiere, but I just didn't get round to them. So lots of videos coming your way that are Flash centric. So stick around, guys, because we have a lot of great content coming. But if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. We are uploading daily, as I've said. Also, if you want to join any future stream with me, please be sure to click that join button down below to become a member of the channel. I just introduced a new membership tier, and at that highest membership tier you can become a moderator on my streams. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, but that's going to be with a very special guest. So that's Friday in the evening, so around 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so in New York and the East Coast. You're not going to want to miss that live stream. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.